What's up, everyone, and welcome to this Bitcoin market update. In these videos, you can learn technical analysis and figure out where Bitcoin might be moving next. So let's start off here on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. You can see we have an upper wick right now currently, but we still do have 2 days and 10 hours until this weekly candle closes. If we're bullish here, we want to see a close above this previous high up at about 61,925. The main resistance level that we're running into is this yearly pivot up here, which is the R3. That is right around 63,200 roughly. If we go to the daily time frame, you can see we're retesting this either inverse head and shoulders pattern or ascending triangle pattern. And this was our entry point right here. You can see that we bounced off of that trend line already. I went long on this retest. So you don't always get the retest of this zone, but when you do, it's a very strong buying opportunity. And so if we were playing this as an inverse head and shoulders pattern, we can see our left shoulder right here, head, right shoulder. And so the neckline is a horizontal resistance line where the top of the shoulders are at. And you can see that's roughly where this orange line is. Same thing for the ascending triangle pattern here with our higher lows and then our horizontal resistance. We broke above this. You can see we had an increase in bull volume. We then had a sell-off subsequently, and now we are retesting this zone. So retesting this zone, if we do end up going lower, I would still really like to buy. And the reason for that is because this candle right here, this is going to be our main level that I will be watching. If we do end up going down lower, this is the level that I will look to long. And the way that you can play this one is you can pull out your long position tool right here. You can pull your stop loss to below that level, and then we can target either the 69, the target for the inverse head and shoulders, or we can target for either the R2 pivot if we think we're going to go up to there, or the 77K target, which is our target for the ascending triangle pattern. So if we have the ascending triangle pattern, what we have here, before we even go into that, let's talk about a couple things here so you guys can get some main takeaways. So how do we know that this gray level is a support level? Let's start with there. Well, the way that we know that this is our support level is because this is where the trend changed right here. So we had this uptrend right here. We were in a bullish trend. We came down, we started to consolidate, and then right here we had a trend change. We see our bearish pattern. And this is what you need to look for if you're looking for a resistance level to be set. And that's a high, low, lower high in comparison to this one, signifying that a trend, that the bullish momentum is waning, it's decreasing, and then a downturn right here. So that downturn right here, when we have these two candle closes below this key low, signifies that the trend is now bearish. We had less bullish momentum and then confirmed bearish downtrend. So this white candle where people were buying Bitcoin is going to be a resistance level on a retest, because people that were buying are now going to sell because they know that this is an established bear trend. So that's exactly what we see right here. We retest this zone, we reject off of it. That was a profitable trade right there. We wait, it comes up again, we reject off it a second time right here. Then if we finally close above it right here, but we didn't retest it, we got close, but if you zoom in, you can see that we did not break the lows of any of these candles. And so this is, if we come down, this will be the first test of this. I imagine that a test of this zone will be super mega bullish if we end up going down into that. And something to watch with this pattern, and you know, these chart patterns are things you can look up online, by the way. But inverse head and shoulders pattern is very simple. You're looking for a downtrend in price, which is what we're seeing here. And that's establishing a low. Then you see a lower low that breaks the previous low, and that's the head right here. It comes up, it establishes some sort of horizontal resistance right here. where the shoulders are meeting, which is what it does. It comes down, forms near an equal low to what the other shoulder was. If we look at where the bodies of these candles are, it lines up perfectly with that. And then subsequently, you need to see a breakout of this pattern with an increase in bull volume, which is what we see here with our bullish volume being above the moving average. That signifies to us this is above average bull volume, and this is a clean breakout. Then you sometimes see a retest of this, and that's what we're seeing right now. And so a retest of this is telling us we're retesting this resistance level now as support. So now, if this level that we just bounced off of does not hold, the next subsequent level is just this gray level. And so the only reason I would see us going down in this gray level is if we look at the lower term time frames. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. If we look at the 4-hour time frame, this consolidation period, let's get rid of this real quick. This consolidation period right here, this is our area where people went long. How do we know that people went long here? The way we know is we see our volume. Above average bull volume, increasing bull volume. That tells us that people's stop losses are right below this low, and this low. So if we go below those lows, what will happen is we'll trigger people's stop losses. People will exit their positions, the people that went long right here. And then what will happen is the whales, the big players in the market, will have the liquidity that they need. They will have the money that they need from those stop losses to fill their orders. So they're going to fill their orders by triggering people's stop losses. And so then the price is going to be right inside of this gray zone. You can see that conveniently, there's also this pivot level right here, which is going to be extremely juicy entry if we end up getting there, because it's confluent with this gray zone, which will be the first test of this gray zone. The first test of this gray zone, I mean, let's look at, here's an example. Let's just look at past levels here. Let's go back down to here real quick, and let's look at this level, okay? Here's an example of a previous resistance turning extremely bullish support. So here's an same exact scenario. We're in the same exact scenario. Bearish downtrend. High, low, lower, high, lower, low. Breakdown, retest, breakdown. Break above, now we might retest it, okay? Let's look back here. What happened here? High, low, lower high, lower low, breakdown. Retest, rejection. Retest, rejection. Breakthrough, retest, barely touches it, off to the races. New all-time high. New all-time high. So, what is this telling us? Same exact setup again. This is what you look for when you're trading technically on cryptocurrencies. You're looking for trends, you're looking for consistency, you're looking for the same sorts of setups. Welcome to the same exact setup. This entry right here is where I'm going bazooka long. That's what I call it when I go mega long. And I'm going to put my stop loss. I don't even know if I'll need to put my stop loss below this entire daily low. What I'll probably do is I'll probably put it below some other like lower time frame. I'll probably put it below like this candle from back here or something. I don't know. It's gonna be like the price. Like I have like a 90% like I'm very confident, I would say, that the price is gonna bounce off of this zone on the first test. And if it doesn't, I'll get stopped out, and I'm fine with that. But if it does, the profit potential, I mean, let's look at the profit potential. Profit potential, 29% if we go to 77K. 72K, 21%. Zone for the inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is roughly 69.9. 17%. R1 pivot, 10%. So, in my opinion, minimum is this target right here. This is minimum 17% trade, in my opinion. So this is what I will be taking. This is the only thing that I really care about right now. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame and look at the entry that I just took as well, just in case. You can see we have decreasing bull volume. We're potentially forming a doji candle here. If we look at the Ichimoku cloud, we came right into our 4-hour Kijun, bounced off of it quite nicely already. We'll see if this level ends up holding on the first test. Like I said, liquidity below these lows is what we're looking for. So we can put our X's down here. We want this to be a red X. Ding, ding, ding. Here we go. So we have our X's below these key lows. We didn't go down below those lows. You can see that. We came down, but then we bounced. So now we're going to need to see some sort of either push up here and then another push down into those lows. Or we're going to see we just go up from here. So there's two scenarios, but either way I'm going long on this Kijun. And my stop loss for that is not below these lows, because that would not be wise of me to put them there if I think we're going to go down there. It's below this white candle from back here. So this white candle from back here, if we look, let's look at what this, how this candle held. It held for 15 tests, or however many like this was. And then we broke above it right here. This is our break above right here. Once we break above this, retest, bullish support. Okay, it held this many times. This is a very simple concept to really instill in yourselves. When you see a level that is strong support or resistance that has been tested several times, and by several I mean like more than 5 times. This got tested far more than 5 times before we even broke the high of this right here. We didn't break it with clear force until right here. Retesting it, you can see what is it doing? It's bouncing. So this level goes down to about 58,700. Now let's flip on our pivot level and look at where the stop loss would be. We can put our stop loss below that level, which is probably where I'll put mine, to be honest, if we go down. And you can see it's confluent with that daily gray level. So the super ultra mega support level is this pivot level that's inside of the 4-hour gray level, the daily level, and the pivot. So that area is a very strong support level. If this level breaks, if we break below this level and close a candle below that level, I'm not going to be very bullish anymore. But if we don't, which we probably will not, because that pivot is magically consistent with where if we wicked into below all 3 of these lows, we would still the pivot is still below that. So that's where we're at with Bitcoin right now. We have very strong support. I am not concerned with this. This isn't a downtrend. Let's be very clear about that as well. So on the 4-hour time frame. If we go to the 8-hour time frame, we're still not really in a bad situation here. We do have a lower high, lower low, but we didn't close below this low yet. So we have an hour and 37 minutes until this candle closes. What we want to see is we want to see the candle close above this low. And if it doesn't, we need to see the next 8-hour candle close above that low. And if it doesn't, either way, I'm longing down here. I don't really care what happens on this lower term time frame. This daily time frame is incredibly bullish. This level is incredibly strong. So that's my analysis on Bitcoin for today. I hope it was helpful for you. If you like this video, give it a like down below and subscribe for future educational content around Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies, and blockchain as a whole. In addition to that, what was the other thing I was going to say? I don't know. Have a great weekend and enjoy the bull market.